Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. Let's start. Our live stream this morning is having an effect. This will be posted, also uploaded to our workplace, and it will be the same video. So, we're also offering one more week of free videos to general public. If you were one of the people watching this for the first time, please keep watching. And I have a lot more videos on YouTube that we've done free for the last 4 weeks. So, watch them and share them. Let someone else see it. Let's go. Let's start with the dollar index as usual. And I think last week I made it clear to you we cannot make a definitive conclusion, the pattern we're making right now. Something you would hear a lot of people repeat finally. They were giving you definitive upside until I said no, and that has changed. So good for all of you that at least you're getting the real information. Now, some technical traders will tell you this looks like an inverted head and shoulders. That is not conclusive as yet because we don't know. Inverted head and shoulders simply they're saying that there's an impulse, a correction, an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. Now, we are not sure that this is the end of the correction. That's a problem, which means that this correction could go on for a while more. And that means there's a possibility that we might go back up to the top. Right? There's a possibility for that. We might be here like if we think this is the correction, and we could be here for a while more before we go down. Right? That's one option. The second option is this whole piece here becomes a much more complex, bigger corrective structure. So although that is possible, we have still been giving you trades up and down where there is a valid trade. So here is something you would see a lot of traders like to tell you. And let me put it in the 1 hour like this. A lot of traders would like to tell you stuff like this. You should be careful. And when you see traders tell you things like this, you want to run away from them. Especially, well, I'm going to try it like this. They would say, oh, you should get this sell and you should get this sell and you should get that buy. No. Trading, if you're trading live, that's nonsense. Any analyst in YouTube or in anywhere else you're watching tells you that, run away from that. That means that person has never clicked a trade in his life or is not clicking any trade. That is why it's not possible sometimes to get those moves. Now, there are times when you can get in a trade. You wouldn't get in here, but you could get in from this point. You might get this one and you might get this one. Most likely, you might not even get the middle one. Now, there's a chance this is a correction and we get another trade here. There's a chance. That trade might stop short of breaking the low or slightly break the low and go right back up. Now, some traders were telling you you're going to have a big correction here and continue to go down. Turned out it didn't work that way. No problem with that. Having it incorrect is not a problem. The problem is they were telling you you should be selling. And then they suddenly say, well, you should have sold from the top, which is wrong. If you're trading live, the analysis itself is different from the analysis is not the trade call. Trade call, to make a trade, you have to have a strategy. How you're going to enter. The analysis gives you sense of direction, what the trade is going to do. What we do is we look at not only direction, we look at patterns. And these patterns give us a clue as to the direction it is going to go. That's the edge in the market you have. Now, that itself is not a call to trade, right? That is not a call to trade. You shouldn't be selling and buying crazily all over. And hindsight, everybody is the best trader. They will always tell you should have got this sell and you would have got that buy and this sell and you should be in this and you should be in that. You should have been in it. That's what they will tell you. Well, it's not working like that because if you don't have a strategy to trade it, you wouldn't be in it. If you're not prepared for the trade, if you don't understand the rules under which you're going to manage your trade, you might end up losing your account trying to do that. So go back to the 1 hour, and there were trades. We took trades down. We took trades in this one coming. I showed you those trades. Go back and watch the webinars. You would see them, and with concrete, concrete entry exit points. So what we're looking for is what this will become. Would that become a sell setup for us? Right now, it's not a sell setup. Look at it as it stands, right? What you have is a small correction up, a sharp move down. That doesn't mean anything. This could like literally do this and go back up. But the upside is not a buy because there's a chance that it could still come here and you get a bigger correction. Now you might get one more up on a sell. See? This is how confusing it can be. But guess what will happen if this stays here a little longer? We will probably consider the buy because it could end up doing this. And then some guru is going to come and tell you, oh, you should have bought it from here. We say it's going to go up. That's not how trading is. Those are people who don't actually trade. If you actually trade, and we actually do live trade in our trading room every day, 5-6 times a day. That is why I can tell you what we do. If this makes a bigger consolidation even here, it's not a buy setup as yet, because you're still making that consolidation in this small corrective structure. So I'm expecting this to make some more correction. Then we'll probably get one more sell. A sell you will have to take with caution. You would have to take that sell with caution if you're selling, because from this point, all you need to do is drop a little more lower and then straight back up. And that would give you a bigger pattern here, right? That will tend to give you something like this here. Can it be more complex than that? Of course, but we will start with the simplest of patterns first. And that is one that you can get. Silver. We told you we we're going to buy it and we bought it. We told you where to sell this. We told you where to buy this. So we bought this here and we bought this here. So we got that trade. I closed that trade this morning here. Why did I close it there this morning? Because the possibility is it could still come back here. And you might end up with a flat like this for the upside. So let's go back and review silver from the start of what I told you. Go back and start from the 18th. And look at every single silver move that I showed you. Once it broke the top, this was buy. We didn't expect it to go here. We expected it to come to this level. But it went higher than that. Good for you. If you're still in trade. If you're not in trade, no big deal. Once this dropped, wait for a bigger correction, and we will sell. What pattern the bigger correction will be, we don't know, but now we can see it. And that's what is good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We were selling this, remember that? And we were selling this because any one of those could have dropped to the bottom. So those were good sells, both of them. And then when it didn't drop to the bottom, but it go back up, then we realized, okay, we're getting a much more complex pattern. So a correction in here today, one more up there, break the top, and we will sell again. Are we selling here? I'm cautious about selling there because I'm not looking for contracting flats. But can I buy this one up to the top if I get a buy setup? Absolutely. So what would be the buy setup? That's the question. What would be the buy setup? Very simple. Let it come down. Let it consolidate in here. Like it consolidated there, like it consolidated there. I think we'll get a bigger consolidation here. And then we'll look for that trade up. Even that consolidation is not the trade setup. That's just a consolidation because this was a sell. That stopped out here, right? And then go back up. We got this sell here. I think all of you remember that one. I had an entry here. We sold here, somewhere in here. We sold. That came, stopped. I had an entry. We closed it here, and then I had an entry here for a buy, for a sell. This happened, came back up. I closed that trade here because it tagged me a little lower than where I wanted. So this was a break-even trade, although it dropped that much. I could have said to you, hey, look, wonderful. Look, we had an entry here and we closed the trade here. You should have got that profit. No, I'm lucky I got it for break-even because that happened Monday morning. That entry was on over the weekend. And it's a good thing I was awake. Well, if I wasn't awake, I would have got more pips than just break even. But I was awake and I saw the possibility for break even and I took it because that trade didn't go the way I expected to go. They didn't tag me there, they tagged me here. So I'm lucky I got it for break even, put it that way. Right? Now, dishonest traders will tell you, you know what? Look, you should have sold here. I told you, seller, look how many pips we make, how many hundreds of pips we make. Well, that's on paper. That's not reality. Reality is you barely made your way out of it. That's reality because the broker didn't take you in where you had your entry orders. The broker didn't take me in here. The broker took me in here. A little higher than that, somewhere here. So getting out for break-even was a really, really good thing. And when you trade real, you know those things happen. Then the ones who come and tell you, look, I sold there and I closed it here and look how much profit we made. Right? Especially when you see those videos, run away from them. because they're not real. You can tell that that wasn't a real trade. You know how you try doing it, and then you will see it doesn't work. So what we were expecting here is that this would come back here and consolidate. Now it doesn't have to just drop here, but if it drops here, we'd look for a buy. But the chances are it could stay here for a while and then go back. It could get more complex. We break the top and we start to look for sells. Once this top is broken, we would look for sell. Can it come down from here? Yes, it can. There are situations where you get a contracting flat like that. Well, yeah, it's a contracting flat because we haven't broken this top. Where you'll get a contracting flat like that, but we will not be selling it until it gives you an impulse and a flag again. Only then I'll consider the sell. Otherwise, so that I wanted to break the top and then we will sell. Well, you're going to be with me here the whole week. I hope you watch the recording the whole week, and I hope you share it with other people, right? So over 6,000 people have been watching these videos since I started the free webinars, and you can know how much people because you can look in the YouTube and you will see how much unique viewers, not views, unique viewers. The views are in the thousands. I think there's about 100,000+ people. We're looking at unique viewers. Over 6,000 unique people have watched it. Now, the 6,000 people, I hope you can continue to watch, and I hope we can make that 12,000 by the end of this week. Right? I think when I showed you the first time around, it was 4,000 unique viewers. Right? Remember I showed you that, or 2,000 something unique viewers. We were saying give us more. Well, we got 6,000, and now we were going to get more. So please keep watching and share it. You will learn something. That's a guarantee. You will learn something. I don't care how much you think you know. You will learn something. So keep watching. Silver. Sorry, gold. Gold, we actually bought it on Friday. Remember what I said about breaking this low. Go back and watch that. And same set of people you'll hear telling you the lows are not important. Anyone who tell you that has no clue. Again, these are things that are breaking myths in the market. And I'm not pinpointing any person. I'm just saying if anyone is telling you as a strategy or as an analyst telling you that these lows are not and the highs are not important, has no clue. I'm telling you that because I'm showing you it like that they're important. That person has no clue. Anyone, it's not about any person, it's as a method of analysis. If you're not paying attention to those, you have no clue. Right? It's not about criticizing any person, it's about the method of analysis you're looking at, especially if you're a wave analysis trader. If you proclaim you trade waves, then you have to know the tops and bottoms are the most important thing when you're analyzing waves. Because that's how you know what pattern you're in. So I told you he's going to come and break the low. Well, we did that. And then we said two things could happen after that. It's going to either reverse and come and retest the top, or we will consolidate here and continue to drop. But in either of those situations, you can buy. And that is why we bought it on Friday. It was a small trade, but it turned out to be a very good trade. And I can show you that trade. Our entry was right here. And we exited the trade right here. Not at the top. We didn't exit the trade here. We exit the trade here. And there's a reason why you will never be able to exit the trade at the top here if you're in the trade. Any trader who told you they bought it here and they closed it here, or they bought it here and they closed it there, is probably lying to you. Because you will never close a trade that is going into your favor with a move like this. You're not going to just close the trade there. You would want to see some reason to close it. And we had enough reason to close it here on Friday. It went up back, no problem. So what we look for today is we're looking for this to probably come back a little like this and then another trade, upside. See, so there's more upside in this. I'm looking for more upside. I'm looking for buys today. Take out all of this. We're getting a bigger correction, not a flag. This was a flag. We're getting a bigger correction. And we're getting this correction here. I think it's going to come here, break this low, maybe break the low. It doesn't have to. It will probably stay there for a while. But most likely it will break the low, this low. Right, come here, break that low, and then we look for a buy. That's what we're looking for today. Can we get the buy before it breaks the low? Possible. If it's a contracting flat, it wouldn't break the low. But we will take the buy setup. Euro, you can see this is coming down, but the bigger picture is more of a buy setup. I would allow this to come some more, and then we can look for the buy. I let it come down some more. I don't think you want to sell this small one because that is making a bigger correction right now. That is making a bigger correction. It would probably get some more up. We'll see how far that takes and where it goes. Right now, there's no setup. This was the buy setup we had on I think I showed you this buy on Friday, or was it on Thursday? I think it was Thursday. When go back and look at the video here, you'll see we showed you that buy setup. And I showed you this buy setup for this running flat. Remember this running flat. That buy setup for that running flat. So my traders took this one and that one, and some of them stayed in this one. And they're probably still in it because they're making another consolidation here for upside. Pong, we were not very, I'm not keen in the buying, but some of my traders bought this. And some of them bought this, and I told you if you're buying this, take profit. It's probably going to come back down. I'm looking for a sell setup in the pound. If I get a sell setup anywhere from here going down, I'll take the trade. Right now, there isn't a sell setup. As you can see, it's not even an impulse as yet. But if this makes an impulse and make a flag here, we will sell. I will take all sells I have. The buys, maybe. But if you're not buying pound dollar, you can buy any other pound trade. And that's why we've been saying, rather than buying the pound dollar, buy the pound Swiss. It's the same trade. And I've showed you that. And I said, of all the pound pairs, if you want to buy the pound Swiss. And the reason was because we know where the pound Swiss is going. Right? It's coming to this level, minimum. Told you that. And from here, go back and watch webinars from here. You'll see you can buy. Right? As a matter of fact, we were buying from this point. You can buy, you can keep buying. All those are buy setups you're seeing. Right? They're there all the time, and they were there in all the webinar. If you get another flag, you buy again. If you get another flag here, you can buy again. So this one is the potential. So rather than buy the pound, which is a little iffish, it's not that you can buy it, but there are more reasons not to buy the pound than there are reasons to buy the pound. But there's enough reasons to buy the pound Swiss, so you still make profit. It doesn't matter which one you buy, where you put your risk. And you want to put your risk in the patterns that you know and the one that has higher probability for you. Right? That's how trading goes. What you understand and what works for you. So those are the ones you're going to trade. So let's see. Trade this pound Swiss. You don't have to buy the pounds. You can still buy it, but it's less of a, less of a chance and more of a chance that this at any point could drop. See? At any point, this could drop. So the sell, once everything starts to drop, the sell is the one we want in the pound. Aussie was a buy. I told you that from this point here when it is going down, that this is a correction. You can buy and you can buy, and we bought a number of times here, and some of my traders bought that. So it's at the top, it broke the top. Now it's important. Breaking the top is important. So now when they broke the top, you're looking at it and you're saying, wait a second, we have a lot of divergence in all time frames. Could this either go back for a deeper correction, or is it going to continue to go? So watch the 270 here. That's somewhere where we think it could go to. So if you get a flag here today, you can go for this trade and then maybe this trade. So we can get to that level. At least minimum before they reverse it, they're going to reverse. On the 1 hour, any flag you get will be a buy setup. No flag right now. No flag, no correction. Wait to see what happens in here. You might even get a sell before you get a buy, because it could do this and then start to do this and then go make a bigger correction here, right? So if you get a short-term sell, you might consider, but most likely you're looking for the buy. New Zealand. And let me show you back that pattern because I've been telling you about it. And finally, I think this is the one it played out to be. Remember all the mess in here when we were telling you it's going to go up and down and up and down. And finally, I think we're looking at a 1, a 2, and a 3. And if that is correct, we need this one down. Breaking the top tells us they might make a running flat, come here and then go back up. So you can take a snapshot of this because you will need it. And you will see that pattern being shown by many in the future again, right? So watch this here. Watch this, watch this, watch this. We're going to come here and then we're going to go. What we're looking for is a possible running flat here. Can this continue to go? In only one case. That is if we think there's a contracting flat in here and there's a contracting flat here. If those two contracting flats are correct, then this will continue to go. So your question is, well, you just said it's going to come here and then go. And now you're telling us it could go from here. So what do I do? It's simple. I can tell you what to do. And we have, if that situation arises, we know what to do. So first is if it's going to continue to go, you would have to have a consolidation here. And if you get a consolidation here, you will buy. You will make the assumption that this is a contracting flat and this is a contracting flat, so you can buy. That assumption will be proven correct if it goes. It will be proven wrong if they just break the top and start to fall. But in that case, you can get out for break even. This is a step-by-step analysis for you, how you should trade it, right? In that case, you can get out for break even. What if you're right, it goes, you make profit? Well, if those are not two contracting flats, and I don't think they're two contracting flats, my bias is about 95% to 5%, 95% for the downside first. So if we get here and we get a flag here, we will sell. And by flag, I mean this or this. We get a flag, we will sell it back to the low, not breaking them, not expecting them to break the low. And then we will exit that trade looking for the buy. Where and how we'll exit the trade here, depending on your strategy. You might exit the trade way before that happens if it starts to make a deeper correction, right? So we're looking for a sell setup here today. I want this to go a little lower. I want it to make a flag, and then we'll sell. See? Very simple. Swiss, you're getting a breakout, you're getting a buy setup, but you're within this one. See what I said? This might make a bigger correction. So this might go up a little, but then you're going to probably come back here to make a bigger correction and then continue to go. So there's a high probability for a bigger correction. The buy here is not a bad trade. It's just very short-lived. You may have to be careful if you take the buy here because it might not go very far, very fast. CAD, we came down, we broke the low. Both lows are broken, which means this one and this one. And the chances are it could still go back up, right? This here could still, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my drawing tool. This here could still go back up here for a running flat pattern and then downside. This is pretty much the opposite of what New Zealand is doing right now. Right? New Zealand also break the top. So there's a high probability both of this happen. Then this goes up, New Zealand come down, go, and then they both go the opposite direction. So we would be looking for buy setups here today. Can we still sell it? You don't have a trade setup here, not a buy, not a sell. Short term, there is a sell. Like short term, see this? Short term, this could drop one more. If you take that sell, it's short term. Here is a good example of this one for this sell, right? It's a short trade. It might just do this and start to go back up. So if you take the trade, you'd have to just be aware that it might not go very far. So you don't have to take off the trade. You can just put it to break even. If it's the trade you want and it goes to your target, congratulations. If it doesn't go to your target, then you exit the trade because you're aware of it. You exit the trade, take break even, allow it to go up, make a flag, and then we start buying. And for the rest of the week, we might be buying only. So let's see. The bigger picture is it's likely going to go up first. You know, maybe finish what it's doing here. And I think they're going to drop here and then start the upside. So let's see. Yen. So I think we might have got that already. Either this is finished, this piece here that we're looking for, come down back. It's finished, or they can drop one more and then go. Right? Once we see this, we would assume that that's the running flat for upside. Remember I said somewhere in the future we're going to get this. This is not going to go as a straight thing to the upside. Go back and watch the webinar. I told you, even if though this is going and breaking the top, it will have to pull back like this before we go. At some point, you get that pullback. So the question, this was a sell for us on Friday. Take that off. So the question here is now, what do you do? Right? If we get a sell set up here, should we sell this? It's a maybe trade, which means there's no big risk to reward to that. I don't think it's going to fall to the downside. So maybe I'll take it. If not, I'll take another yen pairs that has a sell setup in it. Right? Which means if this is going to fall really strong, but I don't think yen has a big potential for downside, then what I would do is choose another yen trade that has potential for downside and probably say, you know what, let me just trade this one. If it's the yen going to fall, that is going to fall as well, right? If it is not the yen move, then no big deal. So right now you're getting a buy setup here. It's a very small buy setup. See, they have a flag here. It might not go, which means they might still stay here and drop. If they stay there, you know this is a flag. So if you take the buy, you get the hell out of it. And then you wait for the sell, right? So most likely it's going to be the sell. So we'll wait and see. Yen, CAD yen. So we sold this here. We got out of that trade. We sold the second one. I think we got out of this somewhere here as well. And then we saw this. So we're like, okay, just leave this because this is going to go up. But once it became this big, we took off the entry order to buy because it's a big one. It means you got to be careful. This might not go very far. So with something like this, you might just go and break this top and then come right back down here. And the chances are you might come back as a 1, 2, 3 and make a new high. Or you totally fall. But I think it's mostly going to go down as a 1, 3. I'm looking for a running flat pattern in the making. I don't think that's the flat by itself. I think we're making a much bigger complex pattern here. If we get a sell setup here, we'll take it. Every sell setup we get on the CAD yen, we will take. Even if it breaks this top. Because the pattern is telling us that this thing could fall anytime. So if we get a sell setup here today, we will take the trade. We don't have any right now. Euro yen. Yep, we'll sell this. But this is becoming more of a flat pattern, right? The more it comes like this, the more the chances are they will only do this and go back up. So you might only get this trade. It's a short trade and then upside. But I will still take the trade because there's still a chance that they might break through this pattern here and give us a bigger downside. But the way I'm looking at this is you might get this and then upside. But this is a good trade for today. And if that happens today, we look for the up trade tomorrow. So let's see if we get that short sell today. New Zealand yen, this went up a little more. We're still crawling up, which means at some point this will happen. It's not happening yet. Some of my traders took the buy here. It's mostly in this part. There's a flag there for a buy. If you didn't want to buy this, you should have bought the New Zealand dollar, which is what we did. We bought the New Zealand dollar instead of this one, right? Sometimes when you see trade setups like these and you're not happy about this particular pair, you can go look at similar pairs for similar moves. And if those have better setups, those are the ones you trade, right? So you don't always have to say, oh, well, this one is going to go up, let's buy it. Because you might not like it. This doesn't have everything. All the setups for the perfect buy is not there. As the structure is not showing you a long-term trade to the upside. Whereas another pair will show you that. So Swiss yen, I sold this. I'm still in the sell, but it's not going, so I'll close it very soon. So I got in the sell right here. That was on Friday. It actually went like this. Some of my traders sold earlier here. I think they might have closed theirs here. We had the entry order here. It's tagged, but it's not going. So in an hour or so, if it doesn't go big, on the bigger picture, I still think it's going to go down. But on the small picture, could it make another high and then drop? Possible. I don't think we're going to make another high right now. We don't have a buy setup. There is no buy setup. We're just consolidating. So if they consolidate here for the next 2-3 hours, I'll just close the trade and then I'll look for a sell on the break of this pattern. See? Simple. If it didn't go, you just close the trade. It will still fall, maybe, then we'll re-enter the trade. There's no trade setup there. So let's say this trade, I don't know, 2 weeks, a week from now goes down like this. It would be easy to say, well, I told you sell here and look, it's going there. But in reality, you sold there and you're in this trade for over the weekend and a couple hours now. And you're thinking, well, it's not going, what should I do? In reality, when you're trading and you're in the trade, you ask yourself that question. And I always said we have strategies how to deal with that. Right, my traders have had that problem. I've done the interviews with them, over 400 interviews, and I figure out where their struggles are. And I said, well, you don't have to stay in that trade if you're feeling uncomfortable about it. Because you can always get if it's going to fall. Just exit the trade and put the next entry for the next trade. Look for the next setup. Aussie yen. If you bought that, you're doing what? Any Aussie was a buy, including the Aussie yen. Remember all the Aussie trades I was showing you? Aussie Swiss, if you bought that, you did well. The buy was from here. If you bought it there also. Aussie CAD, if you buy here, you're doing well. All the Aussies were buy. Go back and look at all of them. As a matter of fact, I did a YouTube video on all the Aussie pairs. And one trader was asking what happened to all those up moves you were calling on them. Well, I hope he has his answer, and I hope he has what it takes to come out and said, hey, you know what? I was wrong about telling you that you're wrong about they're not going anywhere, right? But he's not going to do that. And that's the reality. You can jump very fast, but then you wouldn't see, say nonsense, but then you wouldn't accept that you said nonsense. So they're still upside. As of now, they're all still upside, which means if you get more correction, you still buy. Right now, this is trying to correct. We've seen this pattern. It might go a little deeper and then upside. I don't know what the correction is going to be, but you might get a short-term sell here if you want, but most likely they're going up. Aussie, New Zealand. This one is going up, but very, very slow. Right now it's consolidating, and it might very soon start to do this. See this? But it will still go. Stay away from that. Euro Swiss made a new high within the consolidation. So this piece did not break out. The chance where it's going to either do this and go back up, or they're going to still do this. And if you're still doing this, you're still within the structure, right? So if they break this stop, then you can look for a possible sell setup. This wasn't a buy setup. There was no buy there. If you bought it, well, you're buying out of something else that I can't see, right? Because I don't use that as a buy setup. We saw it going up, but nothing to buy in that. You don't buy in something like this, right? It looks good when you're in the daily, but would you buy this and keep it? So just to show you, you bought it here at this candle. Did you keep it through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17 hours? You're right there. Did you still stay with the trade? If your answer is yes, be careful. You're going to have a lot of losing trades very soon. If you stay with a trade 17 hours that is not going anywhere, you're gonna get yourself in big trouble. Because most trades after 4 or 5 hours, if they don't go, they go the opposite direction. So anyone who told you that they got that move to the upside there, that they bought here and they closed there, especially when you see people said we sold here and we took this profit, you'll ask them what happened to that piece. They will not tell you because they weren't trading it. They didn't sell here and they didn't close it there. Reality is different. I'm warning you guys. It's not about any person again. It's a warning to new traders. Don't get trapped for those things. You watch a lot of videos. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of guru out there. You just have to watch, learn, and question everything you hear. Don't fall trapped to those. Euro Oz. We're selling. We're still trying to sell. We're still getting entry orders to sell. And there was a running flat and there was a sell setup here, right? I think we were looking at this one. This would have been mostly to give you a trade back to this level, but if you stayed with it, if you got the trade and put the break even, which is what you should have done, you did well. So we'd have to look at this as more as a running flat pattern in there. I think we looked at that as a running flat in our trading room. If you get consolidation here, keep selling. Big picture is downside, right? Big picture is still downside. That has not changed. We're breaking out of this consolidation. Big daily consolidation, right? We got a big correction here. We're still going, so there's still a lot more to go, which means in the weekly, you can see there's still a lot more to go, right? We might even break out of this consolidation very soon. There's a good chance we could break out of that. We wouldn't confirm this as a breakout as yet. If this is your consolidation here, and you got 1, 2 with a slow one up to the top, then this could come much lower. So you might still want to sell, right? If they're going to go back up from this point, which is possible, right? You can say, well, what if they're going to go back to make a new high? And then we would look at this as a running flat. And this is one piece. Is that possible? If that is possible, then you will see the turning point here. We don't have a turning point as yet. It's just going down, right, with no divergence. So daily, slight divergence. You watch it. It's still going. This could change. 4 hour, still going. Still going. Very nice. Wait for another flag and sell. You don't have a reversal as yet, so you just wait for every flag you get and sell. Euro New Zealand. The arrow works like magic, right? So this, I told you that is a consolidation. It dropped. This is somewhere in here. We were expecting this thing. The arrow is not an exact point where it's going to happen, but somewhere in there we might get a pullback like this. So anytime now that pullback could come. Is it going to come here? Maybe a little lower. So let's go into 1 hour and see. Do we have sell setups? No. We don't have any sell setup now. There was a sell setup here that is gone. There was sell setup there that is gone. You're pulling back now here. If this goes up and make a flag, we will buy. Buy for a deeper correction. We know that, right? If they stay at the bottom here for a correction, maybe like this one. See this one here? Or any other kind of correction, which means if they stay here and they do this and they kind of do that and they do this, we'll sell. We'll look for the sell. The sell is going to be maybe not today, by the end of the week. But you can get a buy today if this goes up a little more and make a flag. The flag would only take about 5 hours. EuroCAD. EuroCAD is going down. It broke the low. We tried to sell this. It didn't go. It stopped short, pulled back. We closed the trade. It's dropping now. You can go back and check. We were selling that. It broke the low. So when it breaks the low, that is what we were expecting this to do, go and break that low and then probably go back up. So when we break the low, there's still some more to probably go, but then you're going to watch it. It could go back up, right? So any trade you take from now on for the sell is short-lived. You will take out your profit as soon as you can. So if you get a sell set up here today and you sell it, it drops like this and start to consolidate, take off your profit. Because this could be a reversal. It consolidates, you can sell again, drop, start to reverse, take off your profit. Because it could be the reversal. All right, so every down trade is short-lived. You take your profit off of it. You don't keep it. Europound, we broke the low finally. So the question is, are we going to go up now? Well, this could be two things. This could be a running flat and they fall off the bottom. Or patterns like these very often break out. Right? So we would look for buy setups here. Not the sell, the buy setups. I think I showed you that already once. Within these webinars, I'll bring that trade up to show you because this morning we discussed it in the trading room and one of my traders reminded me where we saw that trade, where I made that call for you already. So it was made on this chart, but let's see, the Pong Oz, I think was it. I'll show you where that was. Yeah, right here. Right in this piece here. Go back and look at this one when this was happening. When this here was happening, see? I told you, this when this starts to happen, you're expecting them to come out. Right? See that consolidation there? Kind of channeling pattern. They're getting the same one here, by the way. And we discussed the entry order this morning where it should go because we're looking for a buy setup. Now, in the rare cases, this sometimes becomes a running flat for downside. That is why you don't buy the breakout itself. The breakout is irrelevant, right? You buy above the last impulse, which should be here, and in this case, it was here. The breakout itself is irrelevant. So we're looking for a buy, but not the breakout. We're buying above the last impulse. Put it like this, you'll probably see what I'm saying. The entry order should be here. Or wait for a flag. They're making a flag here. Wait for that flag to be a 1 hour flag, and then you can trade it to the upside. So go back to where we were. Pang Oz, Pang New Zealand. We're looking for a sell. Let me show you the pattern and remind you what we were saying. Remember this pattern? Well, we started selling this one, right? And that didn't go well. Right? We tried to sell this one and this came back really fast, more of a small profit only. That didn't break out. So we sold there, and we're looking for a sell here. So if this comes here and start to go back up, we'll exit the trade. If it breaks out, you stay with the trade. You will see whether it's breaking out, right? So we're looking for a sell setup here. Pang Yen. Pang Yen is one. Put it to the daily. So we're finally at that top. Once they break out of the structure, they start to move, right? Well, it's not like it's moved a million pips, right? But it's moved quite a lot there. So it's at the top now, and this is where you have to see what happens next. Remember, this thing will not continue to go there in one straight line. There will be a correction. So what the correction will be like will decide whether you get that trade. So now if you're taking any flags, you're buying any flags, there were buy setups and flags. I don't need to show you them. You remember we spoke about them. Just go watch the webinar so you'll see. So this was a buy setup. That would be a break-even trade, right? So what you want to see is it going to start to make a deeper correction and to continue up, or is it going to drop and then go back up? Which means any one out of those two is possible. If you get another flag here for a buy and you take the trade, you have to close it. We don't have a flag right now. We had one here. We had one here. We don't have a flag right now for buy. So we don't even have a sell setup either. So there is no setup there to trade. You'd have to wait. Concat didn't break out, but they're giving you a sell setup here. See this? So this sell is a good one. If they don't break the top and they drop, they can drop lower, right? So if they break this setup, we'll go with the sell. We had a similar sell here. Remember that one? So we'll go with the sell setup here today. Pound Swiss. This you can keep buying. I told you that already. This is the only pound trade that has buy setups all the time. And you still might be getting a buy setup here. We don't have any sell setups on this yet. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, we went up, break the high. We were expecting this to come back here first and then go, right? More like what they did here, right? And then go. Well, they went up without that, so we might get a running flat in the future. Right? If they go up without breaking the low, then they'll probably come back somewhere here and then continue to go for a running flat. See? So you would get that pattern in future. Let's wait and see. Now that it's out of this structure, any correction here, any pullback here, like this, would be a buy. Because you'd be looking at this as a running flat. So any pullback would be a buy setup. New Zealand CAD, this was a buy here, and I still think we'll get buy setups. If we get more consolidation here, we'll go for the buy. CAD Swiss make a new high. That was a short-term trade, which means if you take that trade, it break the top, you put that to break even. 4 hour, and the daily is still downside, 4 hours still downside, right? This little piece here, you can get another one, maybe another one, maybe another one, but then the trade is downside. So you can take any consolidation you get here, but it has to be a short-term trade. So which means if you bought that on Friday, you closed it already. You closed it on Friday. If you get another flag here, you buy, you take profit. Don't keep it, because at any point in time, it can start to reverse. We're looking for the sell. If you're buying this, you can make a ton of money. These are all trade calls we give you, starting from this one, right? Go back and look at that from this one. How's your first trade call? You got one, you got one, you got one, and you might get another one today. Now you might start moving your stops to take off profit from this trade if you're in it. Because very soon we're coming to the top that I told you have to be careful of. Right? I'm not expecting them to break that up. US oil, finally you're getting a sell setup, right? This is a sell setup because remember all the rest are buy setups. Buy setup, you should be taking profit immediately. Now you're getting a sell setup on both UK oil and US oil. What if this comes all the way to the top here? Cancel the sell. Wait for it to come back here and then look for a buy. The sell is only valid within the next hour or so. Because if within the next hour they go higher, that becomes a buy setup with a flat in it, not a flag anymore. That's your guess. More downside. I think this could go down some more. And then from there, we'll see if this goes back up. You might be finally getting some sell setups here. I could see the possibility for some kind of an expanding flat in this one. If you get a flag here, that would be a sell. And you might be getting a flag on the 1 hour. See, you could go for sell setups here. Same for this, you could go for sell setups. But I'd want them to break out because this is going sideways. I want this to break these lows before you start selling. And S&P 500, you're getting a sell setup here, perfect. See? So this could go lower. DAX is giving you a buy setup here for the top and maybe breakout. Is it going to come back down from there here? Maybe. You put it to break even and see. I think it's going to break out. You're getting a sell setup here. This is a very nice sell setup. See? Because if that plays out, we might be dropping much more. This could be the top of the whole structure. And you could be dropping a lot. So I actually like this trade, especially in the longer term. So this sell might be the perfect one if you want to, get a big trade risk, good risk to reward. Worst case is you'll try to get out for break even. What if it just drops like this and go back up? I'll put it to break even. Nifty making another pullback, but you can't sell these pullback without a flag in them, right? If you're selling the flag, you have to be careful. But if you want a longer term sell, you have to get more of a correction before you can sell because they go right back up. See? All of those will be running flats in the future. Tesla, a little more down, but this is becoming a flag for upside here. See, back to this level. It could be a buy setup there. Amazon, we're leaving these arrows that were here from the 27th of January. So you can see. So we're still expecting them to come back to this or this low, depending on how we look at this piece. Is this part of this correction? If that is the case, then we'll come back and tag this low. If it is not part of it and it's part of the up move, then we'll only tag the top low. And if there's a contracting flat somewhere, I don't see it. I'll see this only. So you get 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then go back up and come down. So there's a number of trades there to finish, patterns to finish. Look for the sell setup. You're getting a sell. This is a good trade. SLR, you're getting more corrections for downside. Corrections here for downside. And let's go. BA Finance, wait for corrections and then sell. Reliance, it's going to come down back. You can look for sell setups. Bitcoin, more of a running flat. I see this as a possible running flat. So you could get one more up. Remember, I told you this is going to go one more up. This running flat is going to probably take you one more up. One more up. You could still get one more up. Just one more impulse. The question is always, do you want to buy it? If you want to buy it, congratulations, buy it and put it to break even as fast as you can, because you don't want to be the last person to exit. You don't want this thing to do this and you think it's going to go to heaven. You kept it and then it does that. At any one time, any one of these moves could be the final move. You have to be careful. You don't want to be stuck with it at the top there. XRP, kind of going sideways. It's not looking up, neither down. This is looking short term. They want to do this and maybe then drop. Let's pull this one. We're kind of going up in a channel. Let me take this off. And channels like these tend to break to the downside. See that? So you may want to start looking for sell setups. And LTC. Okay, this one is finally also kind of looking downside as well. So keep your eyes on that. XRP is the one you want to really see the drop, because when this drop in this area here, you can start looking for buy setups after between 17 and 10. That would be the best place. So, okay, guys, I think we managed to finish. It took us about an hour or so. All of you trade with care. Have a good week ahead. Follow us. If you came to the end, help share this video. And I would see you for the rest of the week. My trade results I'll see immediately when we close the recording. Thank you. Bye-bye.